and today we're here to introduce the brand new T-Mobile G2. And before we get started with that, we're just going to kind of look back at the predecessors leading up to this event. So right here I have the original white G1, which was pretty much the flagship phone for Google when they released their Android platform. Very simple phone. It's a sliding hinge, 5-row QWERTY keyboard phone. And it's got a camera, dedicated camera key, which is nice. And also one of the weirdest things about it was it had this kind of chin on it, if you can kind of see that angle there. But it was the original Android device. Pretty good in my opinion for phone developer to have their first phone. And then they kind of switched gears and marketing strategies as well when they released the Google Nexus 1, which a lot of people thought was the next phone in line for the G1, but it wasn't actually. Found that out now. But the Nexus 1 took it a step further as far as hardware, with the first phone to sport the Qualcomm Snapdragon 1 GHz processor. It also had an AMOLED screen, camera, flash, extremely thin phone, as you can see there. 3.5 millimeter headphone jack. I don't know if you can even see it there. Compared to the G1, which didn't even have a headphone jack, it had a USB connector. Very annoying. They both sport the same scroll track button for the moving through web pages and stuff, which I actually do like that feature. But this one really just set precedence as far as hardware. This is a big thing for Google to push the envelope for all the developers of their phones, HTC, Motorola, whoever's included, as far as to get better hardware in their phones. And I love this phone. It's actually what the developers use now when they're coming out with new software. This is the official developing phone for the Android platform. So with that, we will introduce the G2. Brand new in the box. Just a brief overview of it. In the box, you're going to find, of course, the T-Mobile G2. It comes with an 8 gigabyte micro SD card, the battery, which is 1300 milliamp hours, a USB cable / charger, and some headphones, 3.5 millimeter as well. I'm just going to go ahead and open this up. And this is the G2. So from a design perspective, it actually looks kind of similar to the Nexus. It's a little bit less rounded on the edges, as you'll see. It doesn't sport the track style roll ball like the G1 and the Nexus. It has more of a optical scroller, similar to what you'll find on a BlackBerry. It is also a 3.7 inch WVGA capacitive touchscreen, and it sports a resolution of 480 by 800. So, and the looks very similar. It's a little bit more industrial, as you'll see. The back sports nice aluminum battery cover, which is also pretty nifty because instead of having to slide it up or anything, it has a dedicated little door for that. That's nice. Soft touch. Same soft touch plastic, aluminum surround around the screen. And like the G1, it does sport a full QWERTY keyboard, 4-row, not 5. That's very nice, and it also sports some quick key features that T-Mobile designed in conjunction with Android, this particular Android version of 2.2. So as far as that, we're going to kind of go into the stats or tech sheet of the phone. It does, like I said, come out of the box with a 8 gigabyte micro SD card. It has 4 gigabytes of ROM, 512 megabytes of RAM, the 1300 milliamp hour battery, and an 800 megahertz processor, which you're probably thinking, wow, brand new phone, 800 megahertz. Do not be fooled. This is the new version of the Snapdragon. It's Qualcomm as well. but it's been optimized, and in that sense, they've included the graphics processor on the same chipset. So while it's 800 megahertz, it, in my opinion, runs faster than any other Android phone out on the market because it's been optimized to do so. And another big thing in conjunction with that is that the battery life is amazing. Literally, I go through probably a whole day. By the time I get home, I might be yellow, maybe, as far as battery life. So I'll probably be sitting at about 50%. But enough about that. We're going to kind of turn on the phone here, kind of get a look at it. Pretty much, if you're used to using any phone with Froyo, which there aren't many out, same thing here. There are some T-Mobile added features. T-Mobile added to the phone, like I was saying before. You have the quick keys, which is something that's new on here. Let's see if I can find them in here. You'll see them right there. And you can actually assign, for when you're using the keyboard, open it up here, sorry. You'll see these little silver keys. You can see those. And those are the quick keys I'm referring to. So while you actually have the keyboard accessible, you're able to have those quick keys set up to whatever you want. In my case, I have one for messaging. Obviously, if I have the keyboard open, that's probably what I'm doing. I can also access the browser and be able to type right into fields, and then my contacts, so I can also message and make calls while I have the keyboard accessible. Another big thing for this phone, as far as being with T-Mobile exclusively right now, is it is on their new HSPA network, which is like 4G speeds. I'm pretty impressed by it. Not having used anything on Sprint to compare it with, it is much faster than their 3G network right now. The only other thing that really separates it from normal Android is the fact that it does come preloaded with a couple of applications on here, and I'm going to kind of go through and show them to you. It comes preloaded with Facebook and Twitter, so if you're not fans of those, I'm sorry, there's no way you can get rid of them. They are on the phone to stay. It also comes preloaded with some commonly used applications, of course your Google Maps, Places. If you're T-Mobile, it's on T-Mobile. It also comes with that silly My Account, I can't stand it. Google Sky, Google Earth. Those are all preloaded on the phone, and you cannot remove them. They're built into the phone. And it also comes preloaded with Photo Bucket. Very annoying, since I don't use it. You have to turn it off, or otherwise every time you turn on the phone, it'll freaking pop up and ask you to upload all your gallery pictures. So those are the major differences between what you'll find on the Nexus 1 as far as Android 2.2 and on the G2. One of the big designs for HTC with this phone is you'll see it gives you access to the QWERTY keyboard in full, and still remains to keep the phone, in my opinion, fairly thin, especially if you look at what it came from, which would be the G1. You're talking about maybe 2/3 the thickness of the G1. So that's a pretty big feat, and I think that was really done from, well, of course, hardware being smaller, and the fact that the hinge design is what they call a Z hinge. I'm trying to give you a little picture of that if you can see that there. And it basically goes down into the phone, and when you push up on it or push from the bottom, kind of comes up and away from the phone and slides back up into place. From my experience, it's very, very sturdy. It doesn't move too much, stays in place. People have complained if you're, for some reason, texting upside down and hang the phone, that you'll see it. It's not even really doing it, but see, it kind of separates, or it might swing open. So, but who the hell texts upside down? I have no idea. That's pretty much the G2 in a nutshell. I really can't think of anything else. Personally, I like the phone. I will say, compared especially to the Nexus, it is very, very, very heavy. It's 180 grams, so it's probably about twice as heavy